Whether we are there or not, ITSP Magazine still gets the best stories. Plenty of conferences and events spark our curiosity and allow us to start conversations with some of the world's brightest minds. In person or virtually, Sean Martin and Marco Ciappelli go on location and sit down with them at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Together, we discover what the synergy of these three elements means for the future of humanity.
Well, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I personally don't even know where I am. Well, sort of. I'm in Florence, Italy, not in LA. Europe, and look at that, technology. I have Jacqueline Jayne, my good friend from all the way from Melbourne, Australia, where we met last year for the event that we're talking about today. This is an on location with Sean and Marco, but we kicked Sean out. It was a little too early for him in the US. You know, we're playing with different time zones. You can see the globe in the middle there, just to give you the idea that there is no borders. And thanks to technology, we can do a lot of things. Some are good, some not so good. I think we're going to talk about
it. You've got an AI avatar of Sean. That would have been quite fun, just to have him.
I think I have one of those somewhere in my computer. So, and the voice clone and all of that. But you know, let's keep it human. I think we're both that generation that we, analog brains in a digital world. So, JJ, great to see you. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Right. Very good. How you've been doing since last year?
Really well.
Very
I can't believe it was a year ago.
I know.
That was
Let's not go there, please.
No, I met you both in person last year at AISA CyberCon. So it was very exciting, and it's awesome to be back having a chat with you again this year.
Yeah, and look at that. We're still talking. We did another podcast after that, and when the time comes, we wanted to be there. It unfortunately didn't work out. Hopefully next year it will happen, because it's definitely on our agenda. And the event, actually, so that we get that out of the system, is there you go. I call it Melbourne 15 to 17 of October, coming up at the Convention and Exhibition Center. I can guarantee it's a really cool place. Right on the water. Not too bad at all. Not a bad place for an event. What do you do there? Let's start with that, and then backtrack to who you are for people that don't know you in this part of the world or anywhere else. I know you're pretty well known in Australia.
Yeah, I've been playing in the cybersecurity world for coming up 8-9 years. Always been in tech, and worked with a conduit between people and technology, but ended up in cyber and just love it. It's a really fun place to be. And to your point, that focus on the analog part of humanity in that digital world, that is such a strong position. I love it. I'm going to steal it, because it is something that people really do need. And in a sense has driven this session that I'm doing during CyberCon as a extension of one that I did last year that we spoke about the parental guide for parents and carers for their kids to keep them safe. And now we've moved into the next world of social media.
And I remember, and that's probably the reason why we kept the conversation going. I mean, we were looking at things pretty much through the same lens. I guess it's our experience, and not coming to IT from IT, but with the human. And we know, I say that in my show all the time, we've never been as human. I'm thinking about humanity right now as much as when we connect it with technology, like AI, where it's a mirror of who we are or not. But there is some, a specific target age group that you probably need a little bit more help than others. Not that others don't get it wrong.
Yeah.
But things have been moving very fast. Just let's put it that way. And culture may not be catching up. So
yes. Look, when we were
let's elaborate.
showing our age when, there's no evidence of all the mischief that we got up to when we were younger. Yes, showing our age.
Yep. No
Technology,
camera.
no, technology kind of just happened, and we were already doing analog things and then had to move into the world of tech. These days, kids are born into the tech, and their interconnectivity seems to be like natural and getting younger and younger. And parents and carers are making the same mistakes their kids are making. So who is actually helping the kids? Because it's in COVID, being remote working and kids not being at school and having that only way to communicate. And it kind of has moved into a problem now, and not something we can take away, but something we need to manage, talk about, and find a safe way forward for everyone, because we're not going to get rid of the internet, let's be honest. It's here to stay. So we'll look out a way to navigate it safely.
True. And I think we are in that phase where it's confusing. And as we usually do, we point the finger, right?
Yeah.
That's not my fault. It's their fault. It's that fault. Da da da. So there is a blame, and you know where I'm going with this. The title of the talk is actually Beyond Blame: Keeping Our Kids Safe Online, and a few other things. So let's start with that. That's a strong start. Blame.
Absolutely. It was all really began because of my passion in helping people to be safe online. I have a 19-year-old son, and I was able to guide him safely through the gaming and the social media years. So he was always safe, and he was helping his friends as well and his peers, because there wasn't enough in the school curriculum here in Australia, and it is the same pretty much globally. There's not enough yet. It's not a subject by itself, that digital literacy. So the Netflix series Adolescence came out early this year, on the back of a lot of conversations about banning social media and, the bad issues. And there are a lot of bad things that do occur from social media directly at kids. And the Adolescence series came out on Netflix. That sparked such strong debate, which is awesome because it means more conversations. But what it led to was, who are we going to blame? And it really is beyond that. We are at a point now, at a juncture where we can't blame kids. It is not their fault. And it's not a matter of, well, who is the one person, group, government position can we blame? And it isn't anybody. It's a societal approach. So then unpacking that, Marco, to see, okay, well, let's look at all the areas. My goodness, a thesis you sort of got there, and then it was time to put in a call for paper where you get requests sent through to conferences in the hope your peers select your talk. So I thought, right, let's focus on this as an extension of last year's session and really have a look at what's happening in that world of social media and what can we do for parents and carers to understand what their kids are going through and how everyone has that role to play.
Yeah, and it's funny because you said it could be a thesis, but I wrote a thesis many years ago about communicating to young adults. It was about fashion, right? But it was about, how the way you use the media, it would affect many things. Now, take that kind of like early internet, mid-1990s, and now we got, after that, the social media, AI, fake, TikTok, the scrolling, it's just blown out of proportion. Now,
it absolutely has. And the thing is also, before we blame kids, we really need to take a look in the mirror, because the online world reflects what we've built for them, we being our generation. And now we need to step up and help fix it, manage it, and, do the right thing, because we're not going to get rid of it. So what can we do to help?
Yeah. So the goal again of this, despite is the fact that it's a fascinating conversation and I get passionate about this thing, but it's still about promoting and talking about the event that we're covering, so that we will have other conversation with keynotes and speakers. I've been there. Last year I was there. Great community, pretty much professionals in the industry, which they kind of like to think they know everything.
Yes.
But we don't know everything. What do you expect this group of people? I mean, I know Australia, it's a great community. They collaborate, the government step in, may do the right thing or not. You can touch on that, of course, with the ban. What do you expect the conversation to be? And the people that maybe you expect to come to your presentation, it's not click the button and your password is secure, or
Yes.
right?
Well, credit to AISA themselves, because last year was the first year I put in a submission to speak about something that wasn't purely technical for an IT professional audience. My focus for the folks listening and watching is all about the human element of cybersecurity. And it started off looking at how organizations can make sure that people are making the right decisions online, and that a whole program of work is around supporting this to happen. IT's role, and over time how we've shifted to really it shouldn't sit with IT anymore, that it's a whole organization approach with learning and development and HR and marketing and sales and everyone being involved in this space. And that's moved to the human risk management name. So the evolution of security awareness training. Now we find ourselves in a different world. So having an opportunity to talk about kids for parents and carers was very interesting. And it's indicative of how we have shifted, because the audience at CyberCon, and this is something I've tried to tell IT professionals for years, they are also parents and carers, aunties, uncles. There are kids in their life. And IT cyber is not just at one area of an organization anymore. Over the years, Marco, I've seen more people outside of IT come to CyberCon because they're realizing at work that they need to understand it. So IT have said, right, come along, let's invite HR, let's invite risk, let's invite the finance people in so they can see what's going on. And that means that we have an opportunity to communicate in a non-technical manner. So doing this kind of very different approach that you normally wouldn't think would be at a cyber conference, it definitely means people are ready for it. So last year was a full house for that session I did. And I did ask the question at the beginning. It might have felt like an obvious, silly question, but who in the room is here because of a kid in their world? Like, who is a parent and carer? And no surprise, everyone's hand went up. So they came for a cyber conference, but they're in the room to learn about how they can keep their kids safe online. And these are IT professionals. So riddle me this, just because you work in cyber or IT doesn't mean you know all the things happening online in social media for your kids, because you're also maybe a parent or an auntie or an uncle. So it was fascinating to hear the response after, and then to know I'm coming back to do it this year. And I know it's going to be, again, a full house of people wanting to learn about these things. So it's not something we do every day at work, even if we're there for a cyber conference, because we also wear other hats. And being a parent isn't always easy, as we know.
Yeah, and it to that point, it is your responsibility, obviously, as a relative or parents or whatever the relationship is, or maybe the neighbor. Because when you're in cybersecurity, often you get somebody say, "Hey, you're in cybersecurity, can you fix my computer?" Or what's going on with that whatever the fake news or manipulation of information, all of that, and you're like, well, just may not be exactly your job, and definitely is not your focus. In your case, it is your focus. I would think that it would be a wonderful world if on cybersecurity event like this, there will come teachers and people in the education industry, and maybe we do some CyberCon for kids. I don't know, I'm just throwing you an idea. Call me if you do that, I'll come.
Okay, just as a side quest for everybody, I have been wanting to do a cyber conference for non-IT people in business, so that if all the other business units comes along and we do a very non-technical, under the cover of why this is everyone's responsibility. And yes, something more for parents and carers and kids, because you can't just pick one age group either. You have to pick all the different age groups. I've done all these resources for this session that really, I thought, well, I can't just do a one-pager. This needs to be complex. You've got gamer kids, you've got social media kids, you've got a general conversation, and then you've got like 8 to 12-year-olds, 13 to 16, totally different conversation. So I got a whole lot of resources. We'll talk more about that at the end. But the whole point is people need to know where to start to have this conversation. And whilst it's always been around, adolescence, when that came out, it didn't just shock people. It's three episodes. I encourage everyone to watch it. No spoilers. But it forced society to face an uncomfortable truth that the real problem isn't teenage curiosity. It's adult neglect and system design within the apps themselves. And it just led beautifully into the conversation, especially here in Australia with social media bans coming into play on the 10th of December, 2025, if you're listening to this in 2026. And these have been happening around the world. It's not just here. It's in the UK. It's in other parts as well. People are paying attention, but as usual, they're just doing the stick approach of ban it all for anyone under 16. And yeah, that's another can of worms to talk about, that's for sure.
Wow.
No question. I'm expecting really good conversations from people who might have even been to last year's session and come to learn some more. But there's no doubt that if anyone has a look at the agenda for CyberCon this year, there's a lot of very interesting topics that aren't all IT professional based. It's a lot of different things. It's deep. And there's some fantastic sessions on education, like what we need to be thinking about and looking at what we do in this world of protecting people in business and at home. It's really good. It's very diverse. It's exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I wish I could be there, but I do share all of this. And I've seen the switch myself for 15 years, 10 years for sure, covering events. Yeah, it definitely switched from we're all IT, we only talk IT, to we're human and we have to talk both human and IT. So here's the thing that I want to end this conversation, first of all, because I need more time with you. So I want you to come on my Redefining Society and Technology, and we can really talk about this, like on many different aspects. And I want to keep talking about that, but this is about your session and about, again, saying, and I'm not paid for it, how cool this CyberCon event is. And the people, the community, you say probably a lot of people that saw you last year, they will come. I have no doubts about it because people are already, they know each other. I've been there. It's amazing. It's an amazing vibe. And again, like fear of missing out. It's right here. It's real. It's
photos where you could
take photos, send it to. Oh yeah, I have the AI. I can do that, but it's not the same thing. Let's finish with this. So, two things. One, I know you in your talk you have something about decoding emojis.
Yes,
and I pride myself to say I speak emojis. So a little bit about that, not too much. People need to come and figure it out, and then maybe if people are listening now, they're not going to be able to they're not in Australia. A lot of the audience is in another part of the world. That one thing, maybe somebody can start to really help the adolescents in their life to, it's hard, obviously, said it's complex, but so a little bit about emojis and one or two little quick things that you can do to start.
I can do that.
Improving
the emojis.
Things.
That was like a rabbit hole I was not prepared for. So again, linking back to adolescence, they showed how this particular group of boys in the world of incels, let's call it that, the way they used emojis to communicate. And for example, we might see the explosion emoji and think, oh, that's something, exploding. It's like a bomb. But it has different meanings to different demographics, to different groups. And when these, what would you call them? Focus areas, let's say, not that it's a good focus area, these people will create their own meanings for these emojis. And that's how they communicate. And what that does is anyone could see a message and not understand the true meaning of it. based on what it translates to. So there's so many groups. There's the usual, what it actually means, all the emojis. Then there's the generational emojis. Then there's the unfortunate predators online, and they're a whole different ball game with how they look at emojis and how they use them to talk within themselves and how they groom kids online. I just could not believe all the difference. It's not like there's one area to say, okay, here, it's so contextual. It's based on scenarios, just amazing. So yeah, come along and we'll talk more about it. But for anyone feeling overwhelmed by all of this, because it is very overwhelming if you are a parent or a carer or even a kid listening, what I would say is take a breath and reach out to someone like myself and say, where do I start? What do I do? It could be something simple as, should my kid be playing Roblox? Or my child in Australia is 15, uses social media, and they're about to be banned from it come December 10th. What do I do? I've created resources to help. So they'll be exclusively released during CyberCon, but I will absolutely make a version available to you and your listeners so that they can also take advantage of those elements to help them. So I've got conversation starters, why it's a good place to start, what kind of response you might get. I've even got, and I love this, prompts that you can use. So if you do use AI, you can put these prompts into AI and change what you need to get a response that you can have these conversations with your kids, because every kid's different. Every kid's focus is different. Gaming kids, social media kids, the general understanding of what's going on online. Even you could ask, how do I speak to my elderly parent about Facebook or social media or romance scams? Giving the power back to you to be able to start and know that AI can actually help in this scenario. And I'm always available and happy to help anyone with any questions they have. But firstly, come to the conference in Melbourne next week in October, 15, 16, 17, and come see me. And Marco won't be there, but in spirit, he will be.
I will be there in spirit for sure. And I want to thank you for, well, clearly you can tell you've done podcasts before because you're pretty much close for me, reminding everybody about the event, and you did a fantastic promo for it. So what is left for me to say? Then JJ, it was absolutely fun. I was excited. Woke up this morning to spend some time with you here on online, and it was fantastic. I look forward for many more. And to everybody at the CyberCon Melbourne, I wish a good time, but also and especially a good learning opportunity, not just for business, but for your family and for humanity in general. So JJ, thank you so much. And for everybody else, stay tuned. There'll be more conversation about CyberCon Melbourne and, of course, about other events coming up, because that's what we do. We cover, and stay tuned. Subscribe. There'll be more. Thank you, JJ. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Sean and Marco's On Location event coverage conversations. Please take a moment to give the show a good rating and leave a comment. Remember to share this podcast with your friends, family, and colleagues. Come back for more conversations and follow Sean Martin and Marco Ciappelli as they continue their journey toward redefining cybersecurity and society.